everybody. Welcome to the Fox 5, the show that explores the world of Fox Rehabilitation through an original list created by a Fox colleague. Today, I'm joined by Fox physical therapist, Beth Olson. Welcome.
Thanks, Jim.
Kind of put you on the spot. We were at a leadership forum, and I felt like I kind of made you do this, but then, Beth, I felt better because you had sent me pictures of note cards. So when I brought up the idea of doing the Fox 5, you immediately wrote down note cards.
I got really excited and I wanted to write down my 5 things immediately so I wouldn't forget them.
No, it made me feel less guilty about twisting your arm. I'm like, oh, I didn't twist Beth's arm. She really wants to be on the Fox 5.
This is a guilt-free Fox 5.
So, Beth, what is your Fox 5 today?
So my Fox 5 is about how communication helps me at work.
Yes.
So the first way...
It's important.
It's very important.
Me being the director of communications very important. So let's start with number 1.
So my number 1 way that communication helps me at work is that it helps me to stay in touch. I get to stay in touch with not just my patients, but my colleagues and their family members, talking to doctors' offices and making sure we all have the same information, that we're all on the same page so that I get to do my job better.
And can you ever communicate with an OT if maybe they're working with the same patient as you?
All the time.
All right. So let's go to number 2 on Beth Olson's Fox 5.
Yep. So the second way communication helps me at work is that it helps me to learn. And we have access to a lot of resources from a Fox side of things, but I also need to communicate with my patients so they can tell me what they like, what they really don't like, what their pet peeves are. It doesn't make sense for us to work on something that person's never going to do, and it's not meaningful to them. And help me better set goals for those patients and get the job done.
Is it initially tricky communicating with a patient and finding out what they need?
It depends on the patient. Some people give me way more information than I need.
Which is good. Over communication ain't bad.
Yes. And some people it's like pulling teeth. And a lot of it is because they're hesitant to share information about themselves. They really don't know me very well yet. And then when they get more comfortable with me, that's when the communication really starts to flow a lot better.
Yeah. And when you have a fuller picture, you can treat them better.
I can.
All right. Let's go to number 3 on your Fox 5.
Yep. So my number 3 is communication helps me to be a better listener. And what that means is a lot of times the best way for me to communicate with somebody is just to be quiet. So I get to listen to them and what their concerns and questions are and really where they want to go when it comes to their therapy. Or if I'm talking to one of my colleagues, really helping talk through maybe a more complicated patient situation. And it might not even be medical. It might be just a really weird family dynamic. But sometimes listening is one of the best things that I have done to communicate.
I love that you said that because communication is a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
Because if someone's just talking and not listening, you're not communicating.
Mm-hmm.
It's a back and forth. That should have been your number 1. That's my favorite so far.
You want me to go back?
Well, maybe you're building up. So what is next on your Fox 5?
So it really helps me to figure out what the problems are and come up with a good workable solution for what the problems are for my patients. And then again, with my colleagues. As a PT, one of the things that I want to do for everybody all the time is fix the problem. And there are times when, as difficult as it is to admit this, I can't fix everything. If somebody's got arthritis, I can't fix that. So coming up with a way to work around those sorts of problems is really important to me. And I need to be able to communicate to make sure that, again, we're all on the same page when it comes to, what we're doing right now and what our goals are and how are we going to meet them.
Do you hear that, everyone? Communication solves problems. And that brings us to number 5 on your Fox 5.
And this is my favorite. So it allows me to tell people how proud I am of them. So with my patients, when they make either a small gain or they've met a goal, I get to tell them how proud I am of them for putting in the hard work and really getting better. And with my colleagues, it's awesome when people tell me, you know what, I got my GCS, I got this certification, I learned something new today. And I just think communication is really important for me to tell them, I'm so proud of you, and here's why. And that was my favorite.
Yeah, positive reinforcement is clutch. I've probably told this story before, either on the podcast or on the Fox 5. I was once working a job where I got paid $5.35 an hour. And the only reason I left, I didn't leave because of the money. I left because I never got a, hey, great job. I never got a pat on the back. That goes a long way.
A long way.
That was an excellent Fox 5. And I love that your background matches ours.
Totally not planned.
Not planned. So for Beth Olson, my name is Jim Shear, and we will see Yins later.